The price of automobiles and Donald Trump's rhetoric top of mind for party leaders on day 33 of the federal election campaign. Our Glen McGregor joins us from British Columbia. Glen, let's start with Pierre Poilievre. He's making a pitch to auto workers and Canadians looking to buy vehicles this coming year.
Yeah, that's right. Pierre Poilievre is in Halifax today and talking about his plan. He previously announced that he would cut the GST on newly bought Canadian automobiles, that is, automobiles that are built and assembled entirely in Canada. This is something that he's been pushing all along throughout the campaign as kind of a response to Donald Trump's tariff threats in the auto sector. We know that he kind of doubled down on those yesterday. In the Oval Office, he was asked about Canada, and he said he could potentially increase the tariffs on Canadian auto parts or vehicles that are made in Canada. Of course, this only applies to vehicles that are made outside of the USMCA, the CUSMA, the new NAFTA agreement. That's the only ones that are currently subject to tariffs, but Trump has talked about putting tariffs on the individual parts. So we know that most Canadian vehicles are assembled, across three countries, essentially, between Canada, the US, and Mexico, and the parts cross the borders many, many times. So actually figuring out which part comes from where, that's a big job, and the Commerce Department of the United States is working on that, intending to apply those tariffs ultimately on Canadian-made parts. And of course, Canada has responded with their own tariffs in the same ways. But listen to what Pierre Poilievre had to say about his plan today to reduce the cost of automobiles that are made in Canada for consumers.
We'll axe the Carney tax to revitalize our auto sector and to make vehicles more affordable. No $20,000 tax on gas-powered cars, no permanent bans in the cars you love and rely on. Let me be clear, I have nothing against electric cars. If you want one, buy one.
Now, Mark Carney, Liberal leader, is campaigning here in the Lower Mainland in British Columbia. He's in a municipality called Coquitlam, right here next to the Fraser River. He's visiting an industrial plant here. But those auto tariffs also top of mind for him. Responding to Trump's comments yesterday, Carney says this shows once again that the relationship between Canada and the U.S. is forever changed, and that he repeated this line he's used throughout the campaign about Donald Trump saying he wants to break us so he can own us. He's going to be also asked, and when reporters ask questions of him in a few minutes, about a Radio Canada report that said in that one phone call that Carney had with Donald Trump after Carney became Prime Minister, that call apparently, according to Carney at the time, went pretty well, and that Trump was showing more respect. Radio Canada reporting today, citing sources, that actually Trump in that call talked about Canada becoming the 51st state. We don't know if he used that exact words, but it was pretty clear that this is still his intention. Why didn't Mark Carney tell us that at the time? That's something he's going to have to explain right now. And whether or not, this position that he has taken in the relationship with the United States, that he will not negotiate with Trump until Trump shows respect for our sovereignty. So that means don't call the Prime Minister governor, don't call Canada the 51st state, or don't even muse about how great it would be if Canada were to join the United States. But Carney has also said that if he is elected Prime Minister and wins the election on Monday, he would want to start talks up with Donald Trump pretty soon after. He says it's a matter of logistics, setting up those phone calls. So there's a little bit of a kind of a mixed message here from Carney. He says he wants Donald Trump to show respect, to be polite about this, but in that phone call they had in private, of course, we don't have a transcript of that or a recording of that. That's not something that gets released to the media or to the public, but it's pretty clear then that Trump wasn't showing that respect. And Mark Carney at the time didn't tell us about it. Pfizer.
Okay, 4 days to go until Election Day. That's our Glen McGregor in British Columbia. Glen, thank you.